Thanks to our friends at The Motley Fool for sponsoring this video. Visit fool.com/ASYM for the top 10 stocks to buy right now.
Hey, Travis, you tweeted this out the other day. I'm going to read it. I'm going to bring it up on the screen here too. But you tweeted out, one impact I've seen from artificial intelligence is the commoditization of product features. If a feature catches on with one company, it's quickly added at another. Good for users, but tough for any company to build a SaaS company on AI. All right. So you're making a bold statement there that AI commoditizes everything. I want to hear your thoughts on it. That's a tweet. Twitter is where nuance goes to die. Let's hear the nuance.
So the nuance here is AI is happening at a speed that's unfathomable in the history of sort of anything new, right? Like it took Netflix 10 years to get to 100 million users, and it took OpenAI's ChatGPT like 2 months, right? And on top of that, then you have all kinds of new things coming out. Every company is talking about AI. Every small business is adding AI. They're creating custom models. They're doing all kinds of stuff, right? And they're doing it really, really fast. What happens when you can do something really, really fast? Well, somebody else can do something really, really fast. So if you create something of value, especially something that's kind of niche, somebody else can do the same thing. And so what I wonder, and sort of what the nuance of my question there is, what's actually a sustainable competitive moat? If you can build something interesting and custom and valuable in a weekend and you attract 1,000 users, well, there's going to be somebody that's going to be really interested in making that over another weekend and peeling off some of your customers. So I think sometimes this is one of those bubbles that it's like, it's obvious the bubble is there to me. I just don't know what's sticky enough to last, because I think AI is going to be a big part of our future. But I see more commoditization than I think a lot of people do.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable way to think about it. I'm going to push back a little bit though. I want to think about it this way. So the first time somebody attached a plow to the back of an ox thousands of years ago, some very low skilled labor lost their source of work, right? It happened immediately and shook things up. But then within months, significant number of people also had access to more food, right? And we've seen automation and mechanization throughout human history immediately have negative consequences for the people that were immediately affected by it in terms of lost job or income opportunities. But over the long term, as it's proliferated, it's made things much better and it's created an economic upswell. So my question for you is thinking about how it is going to commoditize a lot of things. Let's invert that. What is the other side? As it commoditizes a lot, there's a lot of benefits too, right? Drives down costs for things. It increases access to creative tools. It's even productivity tools as well. Where's the upside?
I don't think we know that yet. To be clear, I think it's pretty clear that
I mean, besides NVIDIA, because they're going to sell $1 trillion of their Grace Hopper GPUs.
We can debate that in another show. But there's going to be some absolute advantages. I don't know that we know exactly where those are yet. I think a lot of it is going to be white collar workers becoming more efficient. So it's going to be like the next phase of computers, instead of the smoke filled room with a whole bunch of accountants sitting in it, you just got a computer. It's going to be like the next phase of that. And the question is to be who's going to be able to sort of manifest value out of that, because some of the things that people have been making money on just aren't going to be as valuable. The earnings report, like write-ups that we do, maybe some of that stuff can be done by AI, but the nuance that we're talking about and thinking about here, that's probably not going to be able to be done by AI. So like our work is going to change. It isn't going to go away. It's just going to change. Same thing with art, right? Like the Photoshop tools are really interesting. I think it makes somebody who knows how to use those tools more valuable. But you still need to have somebody who has the eye for that kind of content. But I think from an investment perspective, and what this was geared towards was, I don't know what companies are actually going to have a sustainable advantage if everything's just built off of a AI model that's open source.
I think it's going to be, Travis, I want to hear your thoughts on this. I think it's going to be the companies that already are really good at making things that are able to leverage AI in ways to lower all of their other costs, right? John Deere is an example. I think that's a company that benefits from this. Those sorts of companies, like the asset heavy industrial companies, I think those are probably the biggest winners Because
Because
if you're a
nobody in
software
tech
company,
cares to help to try to disrupt that company.
right, you're not going to be able to disrupt them because there's no angle that's going to disrupt, because all of the benefits of AI, they're already a leader in autonomy, right? You just strap it onto their existing equipment. It makes it better and cheaper, right? And they have brand loyalty and all and that sort of thing. And they show they know how to make things and have great operating leverage. So I would say the biggest winners are not the tech companies that everybody's chasing, the companies that have AI in their name, or they say they're developing the next, AI whatever. It's the companies that are making things that AI just lowers their costs and helps them be more efficient in other ways. I think those are the winners.
I totally agree. It's the companies that are going to be able to lower operating costs or do something to augment their current business model. I'm gonna give you another name in a little bit more in the tech space, but Dropbox is a company that I covered on Asymmetric Investing last month, and that's the kind of company where you don't think of that as an AI company, but can they take their current product and just make it more valuable by putting some AI tools in there and just make their product stickier? I think that's the kind of company that's going to benefit. Adobe with Photoshop is the same kind of thing. Is somebody else going to make the entire Adobe Photoshop suite? No. So yeah, I totally agree. It's not going to be the companies that are talking about AI all the time. It's going to be the companies that figure out how to leverage it in little ways to make their current market position a little bit stronger.